So the world got wrecked in 2023 by a white mist that created a massive no-life zone. But near this mist, some people and animals started awakening powers, psychics and monsters, respectively. Now in the year 2222, we are in a snowy village right on the edge of that restricted area. A red-haired woman is teasing her brother about his poor performance after just an hour. She is literally giving him a boost over a wall while he complains his body cannot take it. Her expert advice is to call him trash for not exercising his lower body more. Tough love, I guess. He grits his teeth, telling her to just watch closely for his final attempt. From her perch, she uses binoculars while he holds up a hand, looking absolutely terrified. Turns out, our boy has been trying to break through an invisible wall for 7 years. All his efforts, from explosives to ladders, have ended in complete failure. Adding to the misery, he has been suffering from episodes of blindness that are getting worse. And that same desperation is written all over his face in the present. He's also stuck between two older men who are just arguing over him. Done with waiting, he clenches his fist, deciding he has to do something himself. So later that night, while his sister sleeps, an ominous red glow appears from a broken door. He creeps into her room to check if she is asleep, a classic horror movie opening. Her reaction is, predictably, a very calm and collected no shit. Ignoring her sass, he tells her to take someone named Grandpa Mew and leave now. But she has heard this before, promising she will be the one to break the wall for him. Instead of arguing, he just tucks her in, making a quiet promise as she falls asleep. This story flashes back 7 years to the day the white mist first rolled in, swallowing the city. In the panicked evacuation, his little sister gets knocked down and nearly lost in the crowd. Just as she is about to be lost, a young boy, RMC, reaches out to save her. With tears in her eyes, she looks up as he promises they will escape this nightmare together. This was the promise he made, to stay with her until he found a way to break the invisible wall. Returning to the present, he knows he can wait, but Grandpa Mew's body is failing fast. This only way to save the old man is to find a human colony outside this prison. Plus, he is convinced this forbidden zone only wants to trap him, so they should just leave. Suddenly, his sister is awake and has him in a chokehold, refusing to leave him alone. So much for stealth. While being actively smothered, he tries to deliver his noble "leave me behind" speech. Changing tactics, he suggests she go become a powerful psychic and then come back to protect him. Miraculously, this bit of reverse psychology actually makes her stop and consider the idea. She agrees to the plan, saying she will make preparations to leave, much to his relief. But first, she grabs him from behind, asking to just hold him for a little while longer. As she thinks about how warm he is, his only thought is what a complete handful she is. Next morning, our guy is outside, looking determined as their departure plan kicks off. Meanwhile, his sister drives off with Grandpa Mew, who is already suspicious about all the gear. Her excuse is that it is just some tools, which is maybe the worst lie I have ever heard. Yet Grandpa Mew is not buying that for a second and calls her out for hiding something. This realization hits him and he frantically tells her to stop the car. They cannot leave the boy behind. With his sister flooring it out of town, our boy walks alone into the desolate, snow-covered city. He is thinking about the white mist, a 200-year-old death zone that just keeps on growing. With a determined look, he prepares to face the mysterious restricted area all by himself. Apparently, this place has a set of cosmic rules, and breaking them means a very harsh death, no pressure. This only known information comes from a flawed rule book that cost countless lives to create. So yeah, anyone who enters is basically told to abandon all hope, which is always encouraging. He remembers surviving this place 7 years ago, and now he is back to either escape for good or die trying. Walking through the ruins, he is on high alert for whatever this forbidden zone has in store for him. Suddenly, a massive explosion of light erupts from deeper within the city, catching him completely off guard. He sprints toward the source, running past some flowers that have no business growing in this frozen wasteland. It turns out the light is coming from an entire city block covered in impossible, vibrant pink trees. Stunned, he realizes there is a thriving ecosystem inside the mist, a discovery that changes everything. He is so thrilled he calls it a paradise, already planning to bring his family here someday. After washing some weird crystal fruit thing, he decides to take a lunch break. Priorities, man. Using the extra food his sister packed, he whips out a pot to cook himself a hot meal. For a moment, he is just a guy enjoying some soup in a post-apocalyptic paradise, looking absolutely blissful. But then his eyes roll back into his head and his spoon freezes just before it reaches his mouth. Yep, his intermittent blindness is back at the absolute worst possible time as usual. Standing in the dark, he tries to wait it out, hoping it'll only last a few seconds. Except this time, his eyes start glowing a brilliant blue, and he can see everything perfectly clear. With his new glowing eyes, he can suddenly see a list of rules tattooed on his own arm. His reaction is a very understandable "what the hell is this?" complete with a chibai freakout. These are the actual rules of the restricted zone, and breaking them means instant death. A terrifying realization dawns on him as he stares at the glowing, otherworldly text. But just as quickly as it appeared, the vision and the rules completely vanish from his arm. He connects the dots. He washed his hands before eating, which is the only reason he is still alive. This kid immediately thinks he has found the ultimate cheat code to become immune to everything. Trying to activate his new superpower again results in a spectacular, face-planting fail. So it turns out this game-breaking ability is completely uncontrollable, which is just his luck. Pondering his situation, he figures out the blindness was triggered by eating that monster meat. That is when he remembers old research. Monster meat can boost psychic powers, so now he needs more. Meanwhile, not too far away, a night watch camp is monitoring this very area. A stern-looking guy gets an alert on his phone about energy fluctuations from the crystals. This is Lee Zin, captain of the Night Watch, and he immediately rallies his team to move out. His squad comes running, a motley crew of specialists ready for a fight. First up is Yang Hu, the close combat powerhouse, reporting for duty with a sharp salute. Then there is Zhao Leng, the team's sniper, looking cool and collected with his eye patch. And rounding out the team is Zhou Xiaomeng, the support specialist, who is a little *2* cheerful for this job. Her first order of business is yelling at her captain for not taking care of his injuries. Team Mom activated. Lee Zin ignores her, briefing the squad on their mission. Retrieve the psychic crystals right where our boy is. This team immediately starts arguing, pointing out they just escaped this place and their captain is still injured. But Lee Zin slams his fist down, declaring the crystals are worth any risk and reminding them of their duty. Despite their complaints, the squad snaps to attention, ready to follow orders, no questions asked. 30 minutes later, they are back at the restricted zone with a crystal detector leading the way. Inside the city, Lee Zin orders Yang Hu to take point with the detector while the others provide backup. And Yang Hu is gone, blasting forward with some serious psychic-enhanced speed. Of course, it is not long before a massive, drooling monster makes its grand entrance. This ape-like beast immediately gives chase, bounding after the squad through the ruined streets. It leaps high into the air, aiming to crush Lee Zin with a devastating pounce from above. Thinking fast, the captain yells for his sniper to stop the monster before it can reach their point man. Zhao Leng, the cool-headed sniper, calmly takes aim with a rifle that is basically a cannon. A massive psychic-infused bullet tears out of the barrel, heading straight for its target. From a rooftop perch, he sends the shot flying across the entire city block. This monster seems to sense the danger just a split second before impact, only for the round to smash directly into its skull with explosive force. Yang Hu shouts his approval as the wall behind the creature completely shatters from the impact. With a hole in its head, the beast slumps to the ground, looking very, very dead. But just as they celebrate, a mysterious new guy lands on the wall above the downed monster. It is our boy, who has somehow conjured a whole arsenal of golden spears out of thin air. He unleashes his attack. Golden Spear 100 flowers, ready to finish what the sniper started. This kid screams, unleashing his full attack on the downed monster. A whole barrage of golden spears rains down from the sky, a full-on magical bombardment. This poor beast gets absolutely shredded, taking the full force of the golden rain. Except it is not even close to dead, roaring back with a blue shockwave that deflects everything. Captain Lee Zin gets caught in the blast, and his arm starts decaying into a literal skeleton. This team's support, Zhou Xiaomeng, absolutely panics when she sees what is happening to him. She shoves her own arm at him, yelling for him to bite her, a very questionable healing technique. Without hesitation, he bites down, and a green healing energy starts flowing from her into his fist. This green glow spreads, instantly regenerating his arm from bone back to flesh and blood. Meanwhile, the Nara-covered monster is scaling the wall to get some payback. It gets right up in Lee Zin's face, ready to tear him apart with its massive claws. But the captain does not even flinch, just stares it down with a look of pure resolve. He throws up a golden barrier, blocking the monster's pounce at the very last second. With the monster pinned, he screams at his sniper to take the shot. A split second later, another psychic-infused round slams right into the beast. This time, the shot blows a massive hole right through its head. Yeah, that is not getting back up. From his perch, Zhao Leng calmly ejects the spent casing. Another day at the office. Standing over the corpse, Lee Zin explains that the psychic energy here attracts monsters, making it uninhabitable. He is worried about Yang Hu, who is still out there alone, and tells the others it is time to move. So the squad pushes deeper into the desolate, snow-covered ruins, continuing their mission. Yang Hu, still scouting ahead, suddenly stops and sniffs the air. Something smells delicious. This whole squad follows the scent to a rooftop, and their collective jaws just drop, because some random kid is just casually eating hot pot in the middle of a restricted death zone, and he is savoring every single bite, completely oblivious to the world around him. His 5-star dining experience gets interrupted by a voice right behind him. It is Yang Hu, holding a glowing energy blade to his throat and demanding his identity. Our boy Yishiki panics and says he is a normal person, with a very unconvincing probably at the end. Captain Lee Zin is not buying that for a second, his suspicion meter going off the charts. He assumes Yishiki must be a dangerous criminal and orders Xiaomeng to scan him immediately. With a confident smile, Zhou Xiaomeng whips out her handy-dandy identity detector. She points it right at Yishiki, who is just trying to surrender without spilling his soup. But the results are baffling. No criminal record and psychic powers rated below E level. This only makes Lee Zin more confused. How could someone so weak possibly survive out here? He gives Yishiki a terrifying death glare, and our boy is internally freaking out. Desperately, he tries to think of a way to de-escalate this very tense situation. His brilliant solution is to offer the heavily armed death squad a bowl of soup. Before anyone can accept his very kind offer, Lee Zin spots ominous symbols appearing in the sky. This entire group looks up, realizing a whole herd of mutant beasts is heading straight for them. Lee Zin immediately puts it together. The loud noise from their earlier fight attracted unwanted attention. He orders Xiaomeng to get Yishiki to safety while he prepares to face the incoming horde. Xiaomeng panics, asking what the captain plans to do against a whole monster horde. Lee Zin, radiating pure golden energy, declares he is staying behind to hold them off. He orders Xiaomeng to get Yishiki out of there, unleashing a massive pillar of light. This golden psychic blast absolutely obliterates the first wave of incoming mutant beasts. While she worries, Yishiki remembers his grandpa's warning. Psychics here are all criminals. Our boy's first instinct is to save his hot pot, a man of culture even in a crisis. Xiaoming just yeets him over her shoulder, ignoring his desperate cries for his soup. He is having a flashback about how psychics treat normal people like absolute dirt. This kid remembers seeing them casually murder people for fun. Great, he is with the good guys. As they leap across rooftops, he glances back at the escalating battle below. Of course, her rescue technique is basically a spine-snapping chiropractic adjustment from hell. He is screaming that she is breaking his back, which seems like a valid complaint right now. She threatens to drop him if he does not shut up, but then he sees something incredible. Back on the ground, Li Xin has summoned a colossal golden warrior to fight the horde. Xiaoming proudly confirms that that is their captain going full-on god mode. This golden avatar winds up its massive spear, ready to unleash absolute devastation. With one massive swing, it carves through the monsters like they are nothing. Ishiki is just speechless, having never witnessed power on this insane level before. She smugly informs him they are the legendary Night Watch, and his jaw just hits the floor. Amidst the shock, he realizes they are already nearing the edge of the white mist. As they hurtle towards the edge of the zone, Ishiki realizes they are about to become meatloaf against an invisible wall. He tries pleading with Xiaoming for a break, but she gives him a very firm, absolutely not. Our boy starts flailing, claiming he is sick and will die if they cross the bridge, a classic. Then it dawns on him that her orders are absolute, a core rule of being a night watchman. That word rules triggers a memory, and he suddenly recalls one from his arm tattoo vision. A flashback hits him with the key phrase, "The only way past the invisible wall is an invisible way." With his eyes glowing, he has a massive eureka moment about how to actually escape this place. This only problem is he has absolutely no idea what an invisible way is supposed to be. After a moment of deep thought, he concludes the invisible way is, well, invisible genius at work, folks. His big brain connects the dots. You have to close your eyes and just run straight at it. Without any warning, he shoves Xiaoming sideways, completely catching her off guard. This sends them both tumbling right off the side of the bridge in a spectacular dive. Ishiki somehow lands perfectly, sitting on a pile of rubble like he planned it all along. Looking ahead, he sees a green lawn he has only dreamed of for 7 long years. He is finally out. This kid just loses it, throwing his arms up and screaming that he is finally free. His freedom party is cut short by an interrogation at a night watch base where he is asked for an id he does not have. Inside, he is being questioned by a familiar face who asks for his age 17. This interrogator is none other than Zhao Leng, the team's sniper, continuing his very serious questions. He finally gets to the big one: what was a civilian doing in a restricted death zone? And Ishiki's answer is perfect. He was eating hot pot and lost it because of them. Zhao Leng kicks off the interrogation by stating the white mist has a 99.96% death rate, and Ishiki's perfect response is that he went there specifically to die, not the answer he expected. Getting right in his face, the sniper warns him not to joke around with the night watch. Their little stare-down gets interrupted by Captain Li Xin, who hobbles in looking like a mummy. Li Xin just brushes off their concern, insisting he is not going to die from his injuries. He then reminds Ishiki about the golden god of war he saw earlier, revealing it was him. This captain takes over, demanding to know how a normal person survived 7 years in that hellscape. Our boy explains he was just trying to leave but got stopped by a giant invisible wall. This news completely baffles the squad. None of them have ever heard of such a thing. So Ishiki prepares to tell them the whole story, starting from 7 years ago. And Xiaoming is already in tears, calling his story outrageous before he has even started. A tough critic. Li Xin figures it out, theorizing his special eyes hide his true power from their detector. To confirm his theory, the captain orders an immediate test of Ishiki's vision. Yang Hu whips out a knife for the demonstration, and our boy just tells them to watch closely. With incredible speed, Yang Hu unleashes a blinding flurry of psychic-infused slashes. When asked for the count, Ishiki casually nails it, 67 slashes. Li Xin officially upgrades his assessment, pegging him as at least a C rank with enhanced vision. Then he casually suggests another test, adding if there is a problem they will just dissect him. Ishiki is immediately dragged away, screaming about not wanting to be turned into a science project. After he is gone, Yang Hu asks the captain if he actually believes any of the kid's wild story. Li Xin mulls it over the kid's a liar, but he does not seem like a bad guy, just a weird one. And so begins the test, as a blue-haired doctor wheels in a very strapped-down Ishiki. Our boy puts on his best "I am not about to be dissected" smile, which is fooling absolutely no one. She introduces herself as Novo, the camp's doctor, getting a little too close for comfort. With a classic eye chart in hand, she announces it is time for a simple vision test. Ishiki scoffs, saying this is way too easy for his supervision. Famous last words, buddy. Novo clarifies they're testing the other asterisk functions, and his eyes flare with golden light. His vision instantly zooms past her, locking onto the eye chart with incredible precision. He focuses so hard he can see the individual pixels on the letters, but it does not stop there. Because his gaze punches right through the wall, revealing the raw material inside it. He immediately realizes he has X-ray vision and promptly uses it on the first girl he sees. As Novo asks him a simple question, his mind is already connecting the dots. Objects, walls, people. This revelation is apparently too much for his teenage brain, triggering a massive nosebleed. Novo is completely baffled why a simple eye exam is causing this kind of dramatic reaction. Meanwhile, Ishiki is just lost in his own world, muttering about how big and white things are. This test results print out, officially classifying him as a C+ talent with a support-type vision ability. He stares at the paper, having absolutely no clue if C is good or just a passing grade. so Novo sits him down for a little Psychic Powers 101 lecture. She breaks down the 6 power ranks from the lowly E tier all the way up to the legendary S tier. To cap it off, she explains that the top 2 tiers are so rare they make up less than 1% of all psychics. She continues the lecture, breaking down the top tier psychic types, basically a who to hunt list for leveling up. Novo tells him not to feel bad about his C rank since it is still considered pretty respectable in the grand scheme of things. Ishiki connects the dots, realizing his C+ grade is the reason for his fancy new X-ray vision. Then she drops a crucial warning: using his peeping powers can get him noticed by other psychics. Our boy immediately panics, stammering that he is still a total noob at this whole superpower thing. Seeing his potential, she offers him a full scholarship to the Psychic Academy because his talent is so rare. This place is basically Psychic Hogwarts, the most elite training ground in the entire country. Of course, it is insanely hard to get into, accepting only a fraction of applicants each year. Ishiki stands up, revealing he has always dreamed of becoming a psychic and joining the Night Watch. With stars in his eyes, he asks if he actually has a shot at his childhood dream. Novo just hands him an official psychic id, telling him he is free to go, just do not wander back into any death zones. He clutches the card, his mind completely blown that he is not going to be a science experiment after all. She just laughs, telling him Lee Zin's dissection threat was just a scare tactic, a very effective one apparently. Now officially a free man, Ishiki's first thought is to find his grandpa and friend to share the news. This story then flashes back 8 hours, showing a lone car in a snowy, abandoned city. We see his grandpa, absolutely wrecked with guilt and blaming himself for what happened to Ishiki. His red-haired friend says they cannot help him now that he has gone into the zone alone. She then makes a solemn promise to the old man. She will become a psychic and go back in to rescue him. But their heartfelt moment is interrupted by a massive explosion just down the street, and a whole stampede of angry, glowing-eyed rhino monsters comes charging right at them. This girl and grandpa dive into their van, trying to make a desperate getaway. Speeding down the snowy street, they are being chased by a whole herd of angry rhino monsters. From the back, grandpa's brilliant defense strategy is to just chuck random boxes at them. One of the beasts takes a crate to the face, which only seems to make it angrier. This old man realizes they have run out of ammo and the monsters are closing in fast. He screams at the girl to shut the back hatch before they all become monster chow. It is too late. A massive rhino is right on their bumper, ready to smash the van to bits. This monster's hand grabs Grandpa, who is desperately trying to hold the door closed. But from a nearby rooftop, a mysterious figure is watching the whole thing go down. This absolute unit leaps into the fray, his fist glowing with blue energy as he decks a monster. Now inside the van, he has just saved the old man from being ripped out by the beast. Their new passenger, already bleeding, just yells at them to keep driving and not stop for anything. With a burst of speed, they manage to leave the rhino monster in the dust. Looking back, they see their savior left a few of the beasts knocked out on the road. Inside the vehicle, Grandpa worries about the guy's injuries, but the girl wants to know who he is first. Their hero shuts that down, warning them the danger is far from over. And right on cue, 2 glowing red hands punch straight through the roof of the van. A close-up shows the monstrous claws tearing through the metal like it is paper. Out of the sky comes their next problem. A giant, terrifying bird monster is attacking them. This hero steps out, telling the others to drive on while he holds off the new threat. Their savior hands the girl a glowing green crystal, telling her to get it to the military. Suddenly, she slams on the brakes, her face a mask of pure panic, because that giant bird monster is dive-bombing their van like a feathered missile. This hero shoves his glowing fist right into its beak, barely holding it back from shredding them. With a massive burst of blue energy, he pushes the monster's face out of the van. He screams at the beast to get off, putting every last ounce of power into the punch. As the van speeds off, he is left standing alone in the street to face the monster. He just asks them to promise they will deliver the crystal, trusting these strangers with his life. Vowing not to die a worthless death, he prepares for his heroic last stand. Grandpa asks if they are really just leaving him, but the girl insists they have to obey. She stares at the crystal, wondering what could possibly be worth this kind of sacrifice. As she grips it, the crystal suddenly erupts with a blinding green light. This energy completely engulfs her, her eyes wide with shock and confusion. A massive shockwave of power blasts out from the van, flooding the entire street. This hero gets caught in the blast just as the bird monster is about to strike him down. He looks up, completely stunned by the sudden, overwhelming surge of energy. From the blast, a giant spectral hand forms and just swats the monster like a fly. This bird gets absolutely launched into the air, sent tumbling away by the mysterious force. Now he is just standing there, watching the monster retreat as feathers drift down from the sky. Completely baffled, he just asks what happened. My man, we have the same question. This hero is left standing there, completely dumbfounded by the light show he just witnessed. He quickly puts 2 and 2 together. That crystal must have fused with someone in the van. This scene then shifts to a snowy town as a voice weakly calls out for someone named Shuinger. Turns out it is Grandpa, waking up in a high-tech medical bay and demanding answers from everyone. He immediately grabs a nearby official, frantically asking if she has seen his granddaughter. This purple-haired woman just calmly points, asking if by hand Shuinger he means the girl over there. His eyes go wide with absolute horror at what he is being shown, because his granddaughter is now floating inside a massive green crystal in a lab, not a good sign. A closer look reveals she is unconscious, bathed in an eerie, otherworldly glow. Grandpa absolutely loses it, trying to leap out of bed and screaming about what they have done to her. A new long-haired scientist steps in, coolly telling him her condition has nothing to do with them. This explanation does absolutely nothing to calm the old man down, understandably. This scientist clarifies that her coma is because she fused with the superpower crystal he was carrying. Grandpa's mind flashes back to the glowing green rock the hero handed to the girl. Showing him a tablet, the doctor confirms the crystal has fully integrated with her body. This old man asks what happens next, as a scan shows her body being rewritten by raw energy. If things go well, the scientist says she will awaken as a psychic thanks to her latent constitution. Grandpa argues she has never had any powers, so how could she suddenly be a strong psychic? This doctor explains that some powers awaken late or can even be suppressed by others nearby. He concludes that she might just be a 1-in-a-million case, a live specimen of this rare phenomenon. This scientist explains that while she is stable, her life is definitely still on the line, because that massive power surge from the crystal just put her on the radar of God's followers. Grandpa is completely baffled, having no clue who these new bad guys are. So the doctor clarifies they are a massive terrorist group made up entirely of psychics. Great. Their whole deal is that a higher dimensional god is coming and the forbidden zones are the welcome mat. They have been plotting to wipe out the old world to prepare for their god's arrival. He continues, saying the cult believes only the most powerful psychics are worthy of joining them, and since her power cannot be hidden, they will try to recruit her as one of their apostles. Of course, if she refuses to join their little doomsday club, they will just kill her instead. But if she does convert, the Night Watch will have to eliminate her anyway, so she is basically doomed. Elsewhere, a cloaked man stands atop a skyscraper, surveying the city below. With a single glance, he locks onto his target, announcing he has found her. He gets a call ordering him to bring her in to become the 9th apostle. This guy, Raven, seems way too excited about his new kidnapping assignment. This scene then cuts to a bus driving through the snowy streets, totally peaceful for now. And on that bus is Shiki, just staring out the window, lost in thought. All this recent excitement has clearly worn him out because he lets out a massive yawn. But his nap is cut short when he is violently thrown forward in his seat. This bus screeches to a sudden, jarring halt on the icy road. Inside, the driver is screaming his head off, and the passengers are giving him an earful right back. This driver screams at everyone to shut up because there is a monster outside. Hearing this, Yishiki's eyes go wide. A monster, really? He immediately scrambles to the window to see what is going on, and sure enough, a winged beast is just chilling in the middle of the road. This thing looks absolutely furious with glowing purple eyes and a nasty snarl, which is not exactly a comforting sight for our boy. With a shriek, the monster takes to the air, flying straight for them. But the bus driver steps out, revealing he is a retired D-rank psychic from the Night Watch. This absolute legend stands his ground, ready to face the monster head-on, vowing to protect all the passengers on his bus. What a guy. He clashes with the beast in a flash of blue light while Yishiki just watches, feeling totally useless. But he refuses to just stand by and let this guy fight alone. His eyes start to glow as he desperately searches for a way to help. Meanwhile, the other passengers are just cowering, saying it is suicide to help the driver. Peak moral support. That is when his new X-ray vision kicks in, showing him some interesting new info. Turning his gaze to a tough-looking guy with a headband, and he can suddenly see the guy's psychic rank and ability, E-rank skin hardening. Then he spots an old man who is an E with a Starfire ability. Realizing the bus is full of psychics who are either too scared or too old to fight, it dawns on him that not all psychics are heroes and he is just a support type anyway. Yishiki just watches as the driver gets absolutely slammed onto the pavement, but the old timer pops right back up, glowing with power and taunting the monster to bring it on. With a battle cry, he leaps at the beast, refusing to go down without a serious fight. Meanwhile, the passengers are having a full-blown meltdown, crying and demanding a rescue. Peak moral support. One guy in a suit even says the driver should hold it off even if it means dying for them. And for that brilliant take, he earns a well-deserved slap across the face from the old man. This grandpa lays into him, pointing out the driver is the only reason they're not dead yet. He adds that a retired watchman has zero obligation to save ungrateful cowards like them. Declaring he will help despite his age, the old man summons his Starfire ability. Inspired, the headband guy stands up too, revealing he is an E-rank with skin hardening. Yishiki then drops the bad news that this monster is D-rank, so they are all basically doomed. He knows that if he stays, he is just signing his own death warrant along with them. But clenching his fist, our boy makes a choice. He is not running away. So he stands up, introducing himself as a support-type psychic who wants to join the fight. This others just stare at him, completely underwhelmed by his E-rank support status, not exactly a confidence booster. He insists that even though he is not a fighter, he can still be useful in the right situation. With a look of pure determination, he rallies them to go out there together. Outside, the driver is getting absolutely pummeled by the monster's vicious attacks. He raises his glowing energy blade, bracing for what looks like a final, desperate clash. And the winged beast dives in, its bladed arms ready to tear him apart. Just as the driver is about to be overwhelmed, Yishiki and the others arrive as backup. But the old-timer just screams at them, saying he is too busy not dying to babysit a bunch of amateurs. Yishiki fires back that the driver's been poisoned and has about 3 minutes before he drops dead. This news completely stops the guy in his tracks, his bravado instantly vanishing. Our boy explains his ability is seeing extra intel, so yeah, he is pretty sure about the whole imminent death thing. This Starfire grandpa immediately asks for confirmation, realizing the kid might be their only key to survival. With no time to argue, the old man powers up his flame ability with a furious roar. He then hurls a fireball at the monster, not to kill it, but to create a smokescreen. This fiery projectile smacks the beast right in the face, a perfect shot from the senior squad. It detonates in a massive explosion, blanketing the entire area in a thick cloud of smoke. Naturally, the driver's first instinct is to complain that he cannot see anything, totally missing the point. This old man grabs his wound and applies his starfare directly to it, which looks excruciating. From above, we see he is using the smoke as cover to treat the driver's injury. He explains his flames can cauterize the wound, stopping the poison from spreading through his body. Even the driver has to begrudgingly admit the sickly kid's info was actually useful. As the smoke clears, the monster is still standing, looking even more furious than before. This beast swipes with a massive purple claw, forcing the two psychics to leap into action. But the headband guy jumps in front, activating his skin-hardening ability to take the hit head-on. His entire body glows, absorbing the full impact of the monster's devastating attack. He warns the others that his defense will not hold for long, so they better have a plan ready. With the smoke clearing, Yishiki finds himself standing alone, directly in the monster's line of sight. He quickly realizes the beast is smart enough to target the weakest link first, which is, of course, him. Without a second's hesitation, the winged demon dives from the sky, aiming to take him out. This others scream at him to run, but our boy just stands there, a strange purple energy starting to glow. In his mind, he has decided he is completely done running away from monsters like he did in the past. A quick flashback reminds him of his helpless childhood, but now he is a psychic and things are different. He activates his superhuman visual enhancement, locking onto the diving beast with golden eyes. Apparently, by maxing out his vision, he can achieve a momentary time stop effect on his perception. A handy little trick he figured out by accident while staring out the window on the bus. Boredom saves lives, kids. He does admit, though, that he has never pushed the ability this far, so this is basically a live test. As the headband guy sprints to help, Yishiki prepares to unleash his secret weapon. With a confident grin, he decides to focus harder than ever before to pull this off. His power kicks in, showing him multiple afterimages of the monster's entire attack sequence. Purple energy swirls around his hand as he perfectly reads the beast's next move. This is not some hallucination, it is straight-up precognition, letting him see the immediate future. Now that he knows exactly what is coming, he is ready to shine majestically, his words, not mine, only to immediately trip over a rock and eat pavement, a truly majestic display of coordination. While he is down, the headband guy soars past and lands a haymaker right on the monster's jaw. This leaves both the beast and the brawler completely baffled as Yishiki whines about his scraped chin. This monster is just dazed from the punch, and our hero's epic moment has officially been downgraded to slapstick comedy. Yishiki is just sprawled on the ground, his epic moment ruined by a single, very unmajestic rock. He realizes his eyes can predict the moves, but his body cannot keep up, a classic case of brain-to-leg lag. This others are just stunned, with the driver admitting the kid's evasive skills are definitely not just dumb luck. Which is hilarious because our boy is now running for his life in Chibai mode, screaming for a rescue. Seeing his chance, the driver leaps in with his glowing blue blade to finish this thing off himself. He winds up and delivers a massive energy-fueled punch right to the beast's jaw. And with one last powerful strike, he sends the monster crashing to the ground for good. With the beast finally down, the driver dusts himself off and tells everyone to clear out, danger over. Elsewhere, a mysterious white-haired man and his tiny horse survey the snowy city from a rooftop. This dude looks way too relaxed for someone sitting on the edge of a skyscraper in a blizzard, and a close-up on his scarred eyes tells you he has definitely seen some serious action. Meanwhile, Yishiki finally gets off the bus, the whole monster ordeal seemingly behind him. But before he can leave, the Starfare grandpa stops him for a little chat, telling him that rank does not matter and his intuition says the kid is secretly powerful. This driver and headband guy agree, even saying he has the potential to be a night watchman. Our boy is just completely stunned by the sudden vote of confidence from his new friends. He gets all flustered, waving his hands around and promising to work hard. What a dork. Now on his own, he is totally lost, with no idea where his grandpa or sister Shuenger are. He pulls out a note with a phone number for a job, wondering if it is even worth trying to call, only to look up and see some random guy holding a phone with his picture on it. Great, a stalker. Instead of running, Yishiki cheerfully asks the suspicious dude if he can borrow his phone. This man just gives him the most unimpressed side-eye in history. Backing away, he lectures our boy that phones are for emergencies, not for borrowing. Yishiki just smiles, playing dumb and asking if phones are expensive, a master of social stealth. This guy explains it is mandatory for anyone over 12 to have one, getting more suspicious by the second. Then he points accusingly, wondering if Yishiki is some kind of foreigner for not knowing this. Our boy is just baffled, wondering why this dude immediately assumes he is a villain. Turns out the guy is on the phone reporting a suspicious agent from the followers of God, and yeah, he means Yishiki. When asked for a description, he turns to get a better look at his target, only to find that Yishiki has completely vanished into thin air, leaving him totally confused. A short distance away, our boy catches his breath, glad he managed to escape that mess. He realizes his psychic senses picked up the guy's hostility, triggering his instinct to bolt. But now he is wondering what the heck a god follower is, and it definitely does not sound friendly. All that existential dread is quickly replaced by the fact that he is starving and hopelessly lost. Looking around the massive city, he realizes just how screwed he is, a truly epic moment of despair. His face says it all, a perfect mix of panic and exhaustion. Just then, he spots a neon sign for the Red Romantic Bar and decides to check it out. This door opens to reveal a purple-haired woman casually eating a snack, looking thoroughly bored. She looks down to see Yishiki standing there looking like a lost puppy in the snow, and her first thought is that his innocent eyes are actually pretty cute, which is an interesting first impression. This purple-haired woman gets right in his face, calling him little brother with a decidedly unsisterly vibe. She asks if he has come to play at the bar, and our boy is just a blushing, head-shaking mess. Leaning in clothes, she whispers a suggestion for a drink instead. The full court press is on, but his stomach completely betrays him with a massive growl, shattering the mood instantly. She just cracks up, asking when he last ate, while he shrinks in chibiform embarrassment. After her laugh, she asks for his name and age, clearly amused by this stray puppy she found. Just then, a green-haired woman named Lily shows up, wondering who Dudu's early visitor is. Lily sizes him up from the doorway, commenting on what a handsome young man he is. Dudu tells her to butt out and turns back to Yishiki, who stammers out his name and age, 17. With a predatory grin, Dudu points out that means he will be 18 next year. But Lily cuts in with a savage joke, suggesting he meant 17 years for one night. She then asks Yishiki if she is right, and his eyes just spin with pure unadulterated panic. Our boy immediately strikes a pose, yelling that he is a law-abiding citizen who does not do bad things. What a dork. These two women just stare at each other, completely speechless at his sudden dramatic declaration, and then they both absolutely lose it, laughing their heads off at his earnest denial. Dudu explains the Red Romantic Bar is a totally legit national brand, not some shady den of vice. Taking pity on him, she tells Lily the kid is about to pass out from hunger and needs food stat. So Lily just grabs his hand and starts dragging him inside, promising to treat him to a big dinner. A little while later, Yishiki is patting a full stomach, surrounded by a mountain of empty noodle bowls. This women watch the carnage, with Lily wondering if he got kicked out for eating his family into bankruptcy. Dudu casually asks Yishiki why he is wandering around the city all alone. He explains he got separated from his family and is now searching for them town by town. This women are shocked, wondering how he is not afraid of starving to death on his own. Our boy admits he needs to find a job to keep looking but has absolutely no useful skills. Lily jumps in with a convenient offer. They need a waiter, and it is a super simple gig. Yishiki's eyes practically glow with joy at the prospect of actual employment. Then comes the catch: there is no salary and he has to earn all his wages from customers. Dudu leans in, adding that female clients might reward him very well for his service at night. His brain immediately short-circuits, calculating how many bowls of noodles he could buy with that money. But then the single neuron responsible for self-preservation finally kicks in, questioning the at night part. They just smile, saying his earnings depend entirely on his service skills, which sounds ominous. His eyes go wide with panic as he realizes something is very, very wrong here. For a second, he tries to rationalize it, thinking he must be overthinking things. But that thought is immediately vaporized by the dollar signs now permanently installed in his eyes. With a dramatic pose, he officially accepts the job, promising to work his absolute hardest. This women are thrilled, calling him the future star of the bar as Lily goes to get his clothes. Yishiki is just confused about the uniform while getting his cheeks pinched like a child. As he looks at the bar from the outside, he finally admits this place is definitely shady. Later that night, the club starts to fill up with couples and groups ready to party. Inside, the place is buzzing with energy, drinks are flowing, and everyone's having a great time. This night kicks off with a round of drinks for some happy customers, and our boy Yishiki is on the floor looking sharp in his new waiter uniform. His first customers of the night immediately spot him, calling him handsome. This trio wastes no time, approaching him and asking if he is the new guy. He nervously admits it is his very first day on the job, fresh meat basically, which one of them takes as an invitation to ask about the bar's special services. Our boy is completely lost, having no idea what she is talking about. Another employee just tells him not to worry and that he will get used to it. But Yishiki has a full-blown internal crisis, vowing his soul is not for sale. This woman leaves satisfied anyway, promising to come back just for him. He's left holding a fat stack of cash, realizing city folks just want someone to talk to. And apparently all he had to do was listen to get paid and get a kiss on the cheek. It is a moment of pure shock. This job is not at all what he expected. Later that night, he is washing off the days, experiences, thinking about how his life has gone completely off the rails from what he imagined. He flashes back to awakening his powers and breaking through a barrier to save his sister, which landed him in a military camp getting interrogated by officials. Then he remembers getting attacked by that winged monster on the bus. And now, with no support, he has somehow ended up working as a companion in a bar. Through it all, one thing is clear: he has to master his powers and get stronger no matter what. He focuses inward, tapping into a golden core of pure concentrated power. Which is good because this job apparently involves fulfilling some very specific customer fantasies, and some of those fantasies are way more intense than others, to put it mildly. Meanwhile, in a back room, a mysterious woman with a pipe lounges, sensing something is off, and a close-up on this new boss reveals she's trying to place an unfamiliar presence, when Dudu suddenly pops in, surprised to see her superior. Sister Hong has arrived. She reports that the bar is fine, they just hired a new little brother since they were short-staffed. But Sister Hong cuts her off, demanding to know if anything important has happened in the city. Dudu immediately spills some major intel about psychic energy spikes and a mysterious frozen girl. Pleased with the report, Sister Hong orders her to find out the girl's identity immediately. Listening in from afar, Yishiki realizes this bar is actually an intelligence-gathering operation. At that exact moment, Sister Hong's instincts flare up and she whips her pipe around. She spins with a glare, demanding to know who is eavesdropping on her private meeting. And our boy's eye goes wide with pure panic, realizing he has just been discovered. Back in the bathroom, he is gasping for air, relieved he was not caught red-handed. A flash of red confirms his psychic eyes were how he was listening in from across the building. In the other room, a Chibai Dudu is just totally confused by her boss's sudden outburst. Sister Hung narrows her eyes, connecting the dots and asking about that new person they hired. Dudu just stares back a little nervously, confirming that yes, there is a new guy. This next day at noon, she cheerfully heads down the hall to get Brother Yi for lunch. Dudu peeks into his room with a very eager grin, asking if her new favorite employee is awake. But instead of sleeping, she finds Ishiki mid-push-up, looking completely baffled by the intrusion. Her brain immediately short-circuits, going full-on heart eyes mode over his physique. A woman of culture, I see. With zero hesitation, she lunges at him, demanding to touch, sending our boy into a full-blown panic retreat. She then tries to play it cool, claiming she was just inviting him to lunch, but that look is not about food. Ishiki attempts to set some HR-friendly boundaries, warning her that harassing a coworker is a bad look. Dudu just scoffs, accusing him of learning some bad things after only one night on the job. He tries to shoo her out so he can get dressed, while she just stands there with her eyes covered, fooling absolutely no one. Then the vibe shifts completely as she asks if he used his powers to spy on the meeting next door. The fun's over. Our boy is absolutely busted, his wide-eyed shock confirming every single word she just said. He immediately tries playing dumb, acting all innocent and confused, but it is a hilariously weak defense. Dudu slams him against the wall, dropping the act and revealing she knows this bar is an intelligence agency. Now that she knows about his psychic eyes, she pins him down and demands to know his real intentions. From above, she clarifies they are not threatening him, they are trying to recruit him for his intel-gathering skills. Ishiki's first thought is about losing his freedom, so he asks the million-dollar question, can I say no? She seems genuinely shocked he'd turn them down, insisting he is a perfect fit for their shady business. But he lays out his true goal. He wants to get stronger and enter the dangerous, restricted area, not be a spy. He thanks her for her help but makes it clear that he cannot stay here forever. With his eyes glowing, he explains that he has a reason he must go, even if it means risking his life. Dudu surprisingly backs down, saying everyone in their line of work has secrets they do not share. Dudu gives him a solid lead, a recently cleared restricted zone where he can hunt monsters for cash. As a parting gift, she tosses him a clean phone, promising it is not bugged, which is a hilarious thing to have to specify. It is preloaded with her and Lily's numbers, a standing invitation to return if he ever changes his mind. Ishiki looks up, calling her name with a sudden seriousness that catches her off guard. This immediately sends Dudu into heart eyes mode, thinking he is staying, but he is just there to say thanks, crushing her dreams instantly. She just lets out a disappointed tusk, her hopes of keeping her new favorite toy completely dashed. Then our boy strikes a pose, bathed in a divine glow, and swears he will be back. The drama never stops with this kid. His promise echoes over the city as he leaves, a stark contrast to his earlier "do not touch me" panic. Meanwhile, Dudu and Lily watch him go, reflecting on how their shady intel business has created a weird little family. Now on his own, Ishiki checks his map, realizing his powers have stalled and he needs a real challenge to grow stronger. With renewed focus, he decides Restricted Area 77 is his only option. He is going in no matter the risk. Hours later, he arrives at a bleak, snowy outpost town teeming with other psychics and adventurers. Our boy walks through the crowd, looking every bit the lone wanderer on a mission. An overhead view reveals this place is a hub for high-level psychics gearing up to raid the restricted area for treasure. Suddenly, a massive arm clamps down on his shoulder and a huge dude asks if he is flying solo. This new guy, rocking a very intense blue braid, listens as Ishiki explains he is here looking for work. This man introduces his crew, says he is a Class C captain, and asks Ishiki what his rank is. Ishiki just stares, processing the sudden job interview in the middle of a frozen street. With a quick scan, his psychic eyes reveal the entire team's power levels, a mix of D and C ranks, and then he drops the bomb, admitting to the Class C captain that he is only a level E awkward. This captain absolutely loses it, laughing at the idea of a low-rank rookie in a forbidden zone. In response, Ishiki's psychic eyes flare up with a golden, menacing light. This captain feels a sudden power surge and thinks it is his own, which is just adorable. But instead, he gets a psychic vision of a horrifying spider monster about to pounce on him, which is dangling some very unpleasant-looking party favors right above his head. This vision gets way too real, showing him staring straight into the creature's hungry mouth. He snaps out of it, sweating bullets and apologizing to his crew for his sudden freakout. But Ishiki saw the whole thing, realizing this guy is a coward who'd abandon his team. With that intel gathered, our boy just turns around to leave without another word, prompting the captain to call out that he is heading in the wrong direction. He then points the other way, telling a weakling like him to just go home already. Ishiki thanks him for the concern but makes it clear he is going in no matter what. This declaration sends the entire squad into another round of hysterical laughter. As he walks off, Ishiki says he'd rather die alone than team up with a captain who runs from danger. This captain is completely blindsided, demanding to know what he is talking about. Our boy just shrugs it off, telling him to just assume he is here to die because why not be dramatic? Watching him go, the crew just mutters about how weird this kid is. Leaving the captain completely silent, his ego thoroughly bruised. Alone again, Ishiki knows he is out of his league. He is an E rank in a sea of D ranks, and he realizes any team would just use him as a meat shield, so solo it is. With no team willing to take him, Ishiki decides to brave the restricted zone all by himself. He recalls Dudu's intel about the thick dome-like mist that blankets the entire area. Treasure hunters call the thinner patches of fog the entrance, his only way forward. While other teams have expensive gear for this, our boy is stuck with a compass and zero cash. Fortunately, his psychic eyes are the only special equipment he is ever going to need. His vision cuts right through the fog, but he immediately spots something moving in the distance. It is a mist demon, a D-rank creature that supposedly only preys on people who are lost. So as long as he keeps his cool and walks a straight line, he should be perfectly fine, in theory. This area is crawling with them, but just as the intel suggested, they are leaving him alone for now. But then one of the demons whips its head around, sensing something approaching fast. Instead of attacking, the creature just bolts, fleeing from a much bigger threat. That threat turns out to be a truck full of demon hunters who suddenly slam on the brakes. Their captain screams for them to stop, his eyes wide with alarm. His crew is totally confused, asking their captain, Wu Lei, what the big deal is. He has detected a weird power fluctuation nearby, mistaking it for a possible illusion. After a tense moment, they drive off, leaving a terrified Ishiki hiding just out of sight. He remembers Dudu's warning that getting caught here without a license means solitary confinement. Our boy lets out a shaky breath, relieved he managed to stay hidden from the patrol. Just as he relaxes, his psychic eyes pick up something else, glowing red text in the air. It is a list of bizarre rules for the area, including do not cry and wash your hands. What kind of place is this? Ishiki realizes his psychic eyes can read the floating rules of the zone. This gives him a massive confidence boost, thinking he can just follow the list and stroll through unharmed. He starts memorizing them, with rule number 1 being do not attack your own kind, a classic. Our boy continues his lonely trek through the desolate, snow-covered city streets. Just as he notices the mist is clearing, a sign that the real danger is about to begin. A shadowy beast with glowing red eyes emerges from the fog, looking ready to pounce. And his reaction is exactly what you'd expect from a guy who just walked into a monster den. This thing is supposed to be a D-rank monster, a vicious predator ready for a meal. He squares up, knife at the ready, prepared for a life-or-death battle against the massive wolf. This creature pants heavily, drool dripping from its fangs, looking absolutely terrifying, for about a second. Because the big bad wolf is actually a big fluffy husky wagging its tail like it has just seen a new friend. Ishiki's brain completely short-circuits, unable to process this sudden shift from horror to comedy. Still, he keeps his guard up, reminding himself that anything living here is a threat, even if it is cute. This two of them face off in a tense standoff, or at least one of them thinks it is tense. Then the dog just rolls over, completely shattering any remaining illusion of danger. Our boy finally accepts that this creature is not aggressive in the slightest, just weirdly friendly. He is left wondering if this is just some random, ordinary husky that wandered into a death zone. This good boy just sits there, tongue out, clearly waiting for something other than a fight. When a light bulb goes off in his head as he remembers the steak he has packed in his bag, he pulls out the food and the husky's eyes turn to hearts. Mystery solved, it was just hungry. He offers up the steak and the supposedly terrifying beast goes absolutely feral for it. Our boy is still trying to convince himself this thing is a secret killing machine, which is immediately undercut by the husky doing a full-on happy backflip for its snack. And with that, Ishiki officially retracts his statement, it is just a dumb dog. Ishiki tells the dog to enjoy the meal, which was actually his own supply for the trip. With his good deed for the day done, he waves goodbye and continues on his way. But the husky has other plans, immediately finishing its meal and trotting right after him. He tries to shoo his new shadow away, but the tail just keeps on wagging. When he asks if it is seriously following him, the dog gives him a very enthusiastic nod. A quick scan with his psychic eyes reveals the truth. It is a sea-level demon wolf trying to form a pact. This demon wolf title makes him laugh, but he realizes a partner might be a good idea. A deal is struck. The wolf gets the name Zyabai and food, and Ishiki gets a loyal companion. Elsewhere in the city, another team of hunters is talking about finding a rare artifact. Their leader warns them that treasures here are worth billions and will not be easy to find. His more practical companion says they can just sell monster parts and herbs for cash instead. This leader tells them to shut up just as a zone rule appears. Do not insult others. Right on cue, a massive energy spike erupts from the ground, nearly impaling the guy. It smashes against some kind of invisible shield, the force of the blow cracking the very air. Looking up, he sees the attack came from a glowing, electrified umbrella of all things. This hunter lands on his feet, completely on edge as he faces this new, unseen assailant. This mysterious umbrella weapon is left smoking in the cracked pavement, a very clear warning shot. Their leader gets to his feet, realizing he must have said something wrong to trigger that attack. His two teammates are just frozen in stunned silence, clearly not getting paid enough for this. They immediately start panicking about not having a safety barrier to survive the zone's punishments. This bald guy worries that a monster might just pop out and attack a psychic, which is a fair point. His buddy snaps back, sarcastically asking if he plans to make friends with the local wildlife. But then the first guy points towards something in the distance, completely changing the subject. Their captain demands to know what they are gawking at before seeing it himself and just stopping. This hooded teammate immediately shushes him, telling him to keep his voice down. Through their binoculars, they see a cloaked figure praying over a skeleton while looting its clothes. This mysterious person is now cooking over a fire with a demon wolf, chanting about mutual respect. This bald hunter notes the guy is all alone and does not even have a protective barrier up. His partner adds the obvious. He is casually chilling with a monster right next to him. Their leader puts it all together, a black robe, monster control, and strange rituals, and they land on the only logical conclusion: he must be a follower of God. From their rooftop perch, the three of them watch, completely convinced of their wild theory. Meanwhile, Ishiki is just grilling some meat, telling his new dog not to drool on the food. This hunters debate their next move, wondering if this rumored divine son is immune to the zone's rules. Their captain wisely decides against attacking someone with such a mysterious and powerful background, so the plan is to just sit back and observe because their leader is experienced in not getting killed. Ishiki finishes grilling some steaks for his new pal, who is very, very ready for dinner. But the good boy suddenly goes full-on Kyujo, growling at an unseen threat in the snow. With a massive roar, something explodes out of the ground right in front of them. It is a giant, glowing scorpion monster, and our boy is understandably a little freaked out. This C-class baddie is a burrowing ambusher known for making its victims disappear without a trace. Ishiki braces himself, knowing he is completely outmatched by this new arrival. This scorpion looms over him, its massive claws ready to turn him into a fine paste. He pulls off a nimble dodge, leaping over the monster as it tries to skewer him. Zayabai looks up just in time to see the scorpion's stinger coming right for him. This stinger slams down, but the wolf is already on the move, narrowly avoiding the attack. In a flash, Zayabai transforms into its true demon wolf form, towering over the battlefield. Now glowing with red-hot rage, the once fluffy husky looks ready to tear this thing apart. Ishiki provides the ultimate motivation, waving a steak and promising a feast for a win. And the terrifying demon wolf immediately starts panting like a happy puppy. Priorities, people. With the promise of food fueling him, Zayabai launches a ferocious attack on the scorpion. This two C-rank monsters clash in a flurry of claws and energy, tearing up the landscape. Zayabai gets the upper hand, sinking its teeth right into the scorpion's tough exoskeleton. This wolf presses its advantage, overwhelming the scorpion with sheer brute force. Realizing the scorpion's defense is too strong for a quick win, Ishiki decides to lend a hand. His psychic eyes ignite with golden flames, searching for the monster's hidden weak spot. His psychic vision zeroes in on the scorpion's core, a glowing blue weak spot right in its stinger. Ishiki shouts the game plan, telling Zayabai to aim for the final joint on the tail. With a target locked, Zayabai launches himself at the scorpion like a stake-motivated missile. This wolf's fangs clamp down hard, sinking deep into the monster's armored stinger. In a brutal display of power, he just rips the entire weapon clean off the scorpion's body. Our boy is on the sidelines cheering like a proud dog dad, a very, very effective dog dad. But the victory is short-lived as the severed stinger explodes with a burst of blue energy. Zayabai gets blasted back by the explosion, but the scorpion is officially disarmed. After a triumphant howl, Ishiki congratulates his partner on a job well done. Just as they are celebrating, his senses flare up. They have had an audience this whole time. Meanwhile, the rooftop observers are losing their minds, convinced he is a puppeteer too weak to fight. Their captain is still trying to make his follower of God theory work with this new puppeteer angle. This bald hunter smells an opportunity, suggesting they just jump him for a quick bounty. Right then, Ishiki appears directly behind them on the roof with a casual "hello, guys." All three hunters absolutely jump out of their skins, the captain stammering in pure shock. Our boy calmly looks down at them, bringing up that little puppeteer theory he just overheard. This two flunkies try to size him up, noting he is alone, well, a guy and a dog anyway. Their leader gets a sudden surge of courage, pointing out that it is 3 against 1. One of them scoffs at his cheap gear, calling him a nobody, while his buddy urges caution. Ishiki is sweating bullets, desperately hoping they do not attack as the zone's first rule flashes in his mind. Ishiki's inner monologue is a full-blown panic attack, realizing these guys could kill him before the zone even punishes them. Even with his demon wolf, he knows he is dead meat against 3 C-class psychics. Post-mortem justice does not help much. Down below, the lead hunter grips his glowing knife, ready to face the mysterious guy on the roof. His mind races for a plan, certain these goons are clueless about the zone's most basic safety rule, so he goes for the ultimate bluff, stepping forward with a casual, "Do not you guys know who I am?" This completely short-circuits the captain's brain, who is now more convinced than ever that he is a follower of God. His bandana-wearing buddy is not buying it, thinking our boy is just acting tough. But the bald hunter is absolutely losing it, terrified they are about to get wiped out by a divine apostle. And just like that, the whole team bows their heads, respectfully asking for His Excellency's name. From his perch, Ishiki schools them on basic etiquette, demanding they introduce themselves first. Inside, he is doing a victory lap, his little ghost self screaming about what a genius he is for this gambit. This bandana hunter Zhao Sixi immediately complies, formally introducing himself and his psychic talent. Ishiki just cuts him off with a booming "quiet." Zhao Sixi is completely thrown, stammering about what he could have possibly said wrong. Our boy lays down the terms. He saw the dagger, so now Zhao Sixi has to survive 1 attack to be forgiven. He then tells Zhao Sixi to just stand there and be quiet as a new zone rule conveniently pops up. Zhao Sixi braces himself for a fight, totally confused why Ishiki is not even moving. Suddenly, a crack of energy appears on the ground right beside him, the zone's punishment system activating. A massive energy spear erupts from the ground, impaling him straight through the chest. He is sent flying backwards, taken out not by Ishiki, but by the very rules he did not know existed. Zhao Sixi clutches his throat, completely baffled by the attack he thinks came from Ishiki. His captain is having a full-on meltdown, convinced they just picked a fight with an S-level word magic user. Meanwhile, Ishiki is internally gloating about his bluff, then doubles down by asking who wants to go next. This other two hunters immediately drop to their knees, begging for forgiveness, so much for being tough guys. With one last intimidating glare, Ishiki just tells them to get lost, and they are gone, the captain literally carrying his injured subordinate as they scramble away. Watching them retreat, Ishiki finally exhales, admitting to himself that a real fight would have been his end. He turns to Zaya-abai and promises a grilled meat dinner because a good boy deserves a good reward. Elsewhere, the terrified hunters make their way back to a more established base. A healed-up Zhao Sixi bursts into a room, eager to report what happened to his lord. This new leader, a guy with some fancy headgear, casually asks what information is so important. Zhao Sixi launches into his report, claiming they ran into a mysterious master who was at least a level. Now interested, the boss sits down and demands a full description of this supposed powerhouse. He describes a masked man who commands a demon wolf, concluding he must be a follower of God. That theory gets the leader on his feet, now desperate to find and confirm this legendary person himself. 4 days later, deep in the restricted zone, the sounds of battle echo across the snow. A quick status check reveals Zaya-abai has been busy leveling up to a B-rank demonic wolf. Ishiki proudly notes his partner's power-up, confident he can now handle a B-class crocodile. And there is our boy, mid-fight, riding the massive gator monster like it is a bucking bronco. This crocodile retaliates with a massive energy-infused claw, swiping hard to throw him off. From his tree perch, Ishiki orders his wolf, now apparently named Simba, to attack the gator's belly. He notes that while Simba's not exactly a genius, he is smart enough to follow basic go bite that instructions. And the good boy immediately proves him right, sinking his fangs deep into the crocodile's side. Ishiki then recalls a zone rule: no touching a demon beast for over 3 seconds, so his dreams of a wolf mount are officially dead. Meanwhile, high above the battlefield, a massive eagle is circling, clearly on the hunt for something. Through its eyes, an observer spots the cloaked man and his demon wolf, confirming the target's location. A new hunter with high-tech gear reports that the guy's power seems to be controlling things from a distance. Suddenly, a massive pillar of pink energy erupts nearby, catching the attention of the entire squad. Their leader speculates that a forbidden artifact might have just appeared, right next to their follower of God target. Back on the ground, Simba stands triumphantly over the now very dead crocodile monster. Ishiki looks up, completely mesmerized by the giant, ominous beam of light in the sky. He immediately wonders if some legendary treasure is up for grabs his dead gator already forgot. Figuring there are no rivals around, he decides to go check it out because that always works out well. With a happy bark, Simba follows his master through the strange pink forest toward the mysterious light. After walking for what feels like forever, Ishiki realizes just how massive this restricted zone really is. But his thoughts are cut short when Simba lets out a warning howl, sensing danger ahead. Looming over them is a colossal stone serpent with glowing red eyes, the source of the energy beam. This thing is just radiating, you shall not pass energy, its stone body crackling with power. Ishiki recognizes it as the black serpent, a gatekeeper, and knows they have never faced anything this strong. He is totally cornered, realizing that not only is he too weak, but even his B-rank wolf is hopelessly outmatched. So Ishiki tries his ultimate move, offering the colossal stone guardian a nice juicy steak, and the ancient, terrifying monster's eye just sparkles with genuine interest. Our boy immediately thinks there is hope because apparently food bribery works on interdimensional horrors. Elsewhere, that other Hunter Squad scanner confirms the pink pillar is an 11 artifact. Their leader, a guy with some very serious-looking goggles, orders his team to get ready to seize it. He warns them that the zone creates conscious monsters to guard these treasures, so no slacking. Right on cue, a swarm of shadowy bug creatures erupts from the ground to block their path. This captain shouts that they are coming as his whole team charges forward into the fray. With his eyes glowing, he screams for everyone to unleash their psychic powers and break through. This team is a wild mix of abilities, from dragon claws and cat girls to one dude who is just incredibly buff. They have even got their own 3-headed demon wolf, because of course they do. This hunters immediately start slicing and dicing the bug monsters with colorful energy blades. One of them carves through the horde like a hot knife through butter, leaving chaos in their wake. Having cleared the way, the team leaps down into the obsidian forest, the zone's inner circle. But their captain is immediately ambushed midair by a massive, glowing green serpent. It unleashes a devastating energy beam that smashes into the rock wall right beside him. A teammate identifies the level threat as a hell nether python with corrosive attacks. Making things so much worse, they see a whole army of monsters gathering below them. This captain orders his team to push forward as one of his members transforms into a huge beast to fight a serpent. But the beast is already struggling, with the serpent roaring at it to get on its feet. Their 3-headed wolf powers up, each head crackling with a different element. It unleashes a triple beam of pure elemental chaos on the bug swarm below. This combined blast just punches a massive hole right through the monster horde. Their leader yells for the team to push on while he holds the line alone. And by holding the line, he means getting into a staring contest with a giant acid snake. One of the Catgirl members leaps in for a desperate strike against the Hell Nether Python. But the serpent's corrosive tail whips around, slamming right into their wolfman. He just bites right back, sinking his fangs deep into the python's energy form. This guy's got a serious biting fixation, daring the snake to a chomping contest. This python easily flings him around, but the wolfman refuses to let go. Meanwhile, the captain's shoulder is literally dissolving from the python's poison gas. He looks back to see his squad getting absolutely swamped by monsters. And it is not just bugs, a whole menagerie of horrors is pouring in to join the party. This leader finally admits he might have, slightly underestimated the death zone, so he does the heroic thing and just abandons his team to go for the artifact himself. He is confident this monster wall will stop any rivals from getting through. What a great guy. Back with our boy, a sudden sneeze interrupts the peace. Someone's definitely talking smack. He smugly comments on the distant battle, wondering why they do not just use steak. Simba gives an enthusiastic bark because food is always the answer. And there they are, walking right past the giant stone serpent who is just chilling now. 5 hours later, Ishiki is just standing around, looking completely unimpressed. This stone forest is way bigger than he thought, and the artifact is still miles away. Suddenly, a tiny glowing scorpion pops up right in front of him, catching him off guard. And that little guy immediately evolves into a massive A-class monster named Scorpio. Instead of panicking, our boy is thrilled to finally find a worthy opponent after all this time. His brilliant idea is to tame it, because who needs a plan when you have steak? So he unleashes his ultimate technique, the legendary barbecue attack, right at its face. This A-class terror is just completely baffled by the flying piece of meat. But hey, free food is free food, so it picks up the steak and starts chowing down. And just like that, hostility is gone, the power of grilled meat remains undefeated. Now the giant scorpion is his new best friend, demanding more snacks he does not have. Its eyes then lock onto Simba, and Ishiki realizes his wolf is on the menu. He desperately tries to talk it down, promising future barbecue if it spares his little brother. After a moment of thought, the scorpion just burrows straight into the ground. With a final rumble, it completely vanishes, leaving them standing there alone. Our boy is fuming, the monster just pulled the all-Etandrun. He sits down with Simba, admitting that maybe, just maybe, A-level monsters are tricky. Ishiki compares the situation to losing a meat bun while trying to tame a dog. Hearing this, Simba lets out a sad little woof, clearly taking it personally. So now he has to explain to his B-rank demon wolf that it was just a metaphor. Ishiki tells his new giant stone friend that the meat is all gone, so it is soup time. Simba gives him a look, and our boy asks what is wrong with his furry companion. With a sudden bark, the wolf alerts him to something dropping from the sky. It is Scorpio. And the class monster just casually drops a whole pig at their feet, a gift for its new bestie. Our boy realizes the scorpion did not just eat and run, it went hunting. Never underestimate a foodie's dedication. Elsewhere, at the source of the energy pillar, we find the level forbidden artifact, a massive stone gate. A new squad of hunters has arrived, their leader ordering them to start decrypting the artifact's rules. This crew's got codenames like Three of Hearts and Jack of Diamonds, looking like a full-on poker hand. Their leader confirms the psychic energy radiating from the gate is at least a level. One of the members, a guy with a giant hammer, suggests they just smash the thing open. But the leader shuts that down, explaining that physical force is useless against an artifact's rules. This hammer guy argues that since they do not know the rules, they might as well try something. Another member, Five of Clubs, agrees and decides to test the door himself with his iron hand ability. He unleashes a massive blast of energy, slamming his glowing fists right into the stone gate, and it does not even move an inch, completely absorbing the attack without a single scratch. This entire team just stands there in the most awkward, dead silent chibai moment ever. Their leader smugly reminds them that he literally just said brute force would not work. But hey, on the bright side, their little stunt confirmed the artifact is not aggressive. He then cheerfully adds that if it was, their teammate would already be dead, great for morale. With no other ideas, they decide to just keep poking at it, hoping to figure out the rules by elimination. This Pokerhand squad's artifact poking gets interrupted by a warning that someone is coming, and it is Ishiki finally arriving at the gate with a smug little I am here pose. He strolls into the chaotic scene, casually observing that it does not seem very peaceful. One of the hunters spots him and his two pets, immediately assuming he has got malicious intent. So the guy yells across the clearing, demanding to know who the hell he is. Our boy just plays it cool, claiming he is here to watch the fun, a totally innocent bystander. This squad leader is having none of it, telling his team not to believe a single word. He then does some quick, very flawed math, thinking their 6 members can easily handle Ishiki's 3. This guy even misreads the situation, thinking Ishiki is hesitating because he is scared of them. Convinced he is just waiting for backup, the entire team powers up to launch a preemptive strike. This leader gives the final order with the unearned confidence of a man about to get wrecked. Ishiki calmly assesses their ranks, asking if they are absolutely sure they want to attack him. But the hunter just screams about artifacts belonging to the strong as he charges forward. Our boy looks genuinely annoyed, giving them one last warning to back off or regret it. They completely ignore him, with the hammer guy leaping in for the first big swing. At that exact moment, the ground erupts as Scorpio bursts out to defend its master. This hunter leader's jaw just drops, realizing this kid has an A-rank demon pet. With Scorpio looming over the terrified squad, Ishiki reminds them he told them not to attack. A terrifying system message appears, announcing that Scorpio has now entered hunting mode, and Ishiki seals their fate, explaining that once the hunt begins, even he cannot stop it. This Pokerhand squad is frozen in absolute terror, staring down the barrel of an A-rank monster. Suddenly, their leader is all let us talk, insisting they are just humble poachers who do not want any trouble. Ishiki calmly asks why, if that is the case, they were acting so aggressive a minute ago. He then casually mentions he is pretty sure he heard someone threaten to kill him, and the hammer guy immediately starts backpedaling, laughing nervously that it was all a misunderstanding. Their leader smacks him on the head, demanding he show some respect and call Ishiki senior. This guy goes full suck-up mode, bowing and guessing our boy is also here for the big shiny artifact. Ishiki just gives a cool, non-committal you could say that, clearly enjoying the power trip. He gestures to the glowing gate, asking if this is the puzzle they have been trying to solve. This leader eagerly explains that yes, they are completely stuck and cannot get it to budge at all. So in a stunning display of spinelessness, he offers the artifact to Ishiki, calling it fate. But his team's thoughts reveal the real plan: let the senior do the dangerous work and then they will just run. Ishiki sees right through it, knowing they are just cluelessly poking at the artifact's rules. He correctly guesses they are waiting for him to unlock it so they can swoop in and steal the rewards. Deciding to play along, he thinks it is probably best to get their names first. So he turns to the leader and asks him to introduce himself. This guy introduces himself as Wang Wu, the ace of spades and a B-level psychic swordsman. Ishiki finds the name a bit too generic, deciding he needs to verify it somehow. Wang Wu just gives a big, eager yes when his name is repeated, looking like a happy puppy, so Ishiki gives him a simple test: 10 seconds to solve what 1 + 1 is. Wang Wu sweats bullets over the world's hardest math problem, 1 + 1. Ishiki declares his answer wrong, promising a punishment for the failure. With time up, our boy reveals the test was just to confirm his name, triggering the artifact's rules. A sudden blast of purple energy erupts from the ground, zapping Wang Wu for his mistake. This force of the attack just sends him flying backwards across the platform. His team rushes to his side as he hits the deck, completely stunned by the sudden assault. One of the lackeys gets in Ishiki's face, demanding to know what he is doing. Our boy just coolly turns the question right back on them because he is already 5 steps ahead. He calls them out on their transparent scheme to use him as a test dummy for the artifact. Wang Wu is completely speechless, realizing he has been caught red-handed. Another teammate tries to play dumb, insisting they had no such intentions. Total liar. Ignoring their excuses, Ishiki lays out 3 options: leave, help him, or the third option is simply die, which really narrows down the choices. He gives the squad 10 seconds to make a decision. The clock is ticking. This team immediately starts panicking, not wanting to give up on the prize. So Wang Wu orders 5 of clubs to stand guard, calling him by his codename, and that triggers the rule again: you must respond when called, blasting the poor guy. This time, 5 of clubs gets absolutely decked by the artifact's defense system. Ishiki just watches, noting that it seems their begging phase is officially over. In a hilarious turn, the entire squad is now on their knees, surrendering and promising to leave forever. This poker hand squad absolutely bolts, scrambling away from the artifact in total panic. Wang Wu is stunned, realizing Ishiki can actually weaponize the rules that have stumped humanity for centuries. His final brilliant conclusion is that this kid is someone they absolutely cannot afford to mess with. And just like that, they are gone, leaving Ishiki and Simba alone in the snowy clearing. Our boy admits to Simba he is glad they just ran; scaring them off was way easier than fighting. Still, he cannot deny how refreshing it feels to manipulate the Forbidden Zone's rules at will. Now for the real problem: how exactly do you pack up a giant, magical stone gate? He decides to investigate the rules up close, but Simba suddenly starts barking like crazy. Ishiki asks what is wrong, just as he notices a massive, dark swarm gathering in the sky. From a swirling vortex of bats, a new challenger appears, introducing himself as the 17th believer. This mysterious new guy gives his name with a smug grin: Raven. Our boy immediately recognizes the God Believers as a notorious terrorist group, and his day just got worse. Raven explains that of course his organization is here, since an A-class artifact is too good to pass up. He then smugly points out that no one can just walk away with it without knowing the secret rules. This guy continues his little lecture, warning that the demon hunters will be on his tail even if he succeeds. Ishiki calls him out, noting that for someone so concerned, he does not seem very interested in the artifact. With a sinister laugh, Raven reveals the artifact was just a bonus. His real target is Ishiki himself. Our boy is completely blindsided by this sudden, very personal turn of events. A system scan reveals the worst: Raven's power level is so high it cannot even be measured. Ishiki instantly puts it together, realizing this guy has to be at least A+, maybe even S rank. Raven starts his villain speech, correctly pegging Ishiki as a B level with surprisingly weak psychic power. Wasting absolutely no time, Ishiki orders Simba into battle mode to shut this guy up. This massive wolf leaps into action, while our boy realizes this new enemy has some kind of insight ability. From his perch, Raven notes the exact same thing about Ishiki: a professional courtesy, I guess. Simba charges forward in a storm of dark energy and fire, looking ready to rip him to shreds. But Ishiki suddenly yells a warning for his companion to be careful, which is never a good sign. With a furious howl, Simba tries to unleash some kind of sonic attack against the skyborn threat. It is completely useless, as a rain of purple energy just smothers the wolf from above. This poor guy can only keep roaring as the relentless assault pins him down completely. Simba gets absolutely battered by the attack, unable to move an inch under the pressure. Raven just mocks the wolf for overestimating itself as it is sent flying backwards through the air. Then he summons a giant rock worm from his cloak, telling the stupid beast to get out of the way. This worm thing immediately chomps down on Simba, crushing the wolf in a blast of dark energy. And just like that, Simba disintegrates into nothing, leaving Ishiki to watch in horror. Raven dives in, smugly saying he cannot eat the barbecue for free, so he will protect our boy instead. What a creep. In a last-ditch effort, Scorpio bursts from the ground and Ishiki begs it not to fail him now. But then our boy's eyes go wide with shock, as if he just noticed something completely unexpected. Scorpio's stinger erupts from below, perfectly intercepting Raven's dive bomb attack. Now it is Raven's turn to be completely floored, his smug face frozen in disbelief. This counterattack slams into the cliffside with devastating force, blowing the whole area to bits. Raven gets absolutely blasted by Scorpio's stinger, his smug face finally cracking under the pressure. His mind is just blown. This kid can control an A-class demon, completely upending his calculations. On top of that, he realizes the stinger is poisonous and he has to prioritize detoxification immediately. This whole area erupts in a massive explosion of dark energy from the counterattack. From the smoke, Raven admits defeat for now, which is just villain speak for "I am running away." And just like that, he vanishes, leaving Yishiki and his giant purple scorpion standing victorious. His parting shot is a classic threat to meet again, promising to show them what a god's follower can really do. Turning to his massive demon pet, Yishiki gives a heartfelt thanks for the clutch save. He then immediately checks on his other companions, worried about their safety after that brutal fight. Turns out the whole crew is fine. Simba, Scorpio, and even that armored worm thing are all good to go. Our boy gets all emotional, promising he will never forget how they put their lives on the line for him. With the bad guy gone, he turns his attention back to the main prize, wondering how to get the giant gate home. Suddenly, his special insight kicks in, allowing him to see the hidden rules of the artifact. This condition is revealed. He just has to read a poem to the door. Seriously, that is the big secret. So he starts reciting some ancient-sounding verse about gates and rivers, giving it his best shot. Immediately, the stone gate begins to crack and rumble, responding to his impromptu poetry slam. Even Yishiki looks a little surprised that it is actually working this easily. This gate shatters further, glowing with immense power as the poem continues to unlock its seal. He muses that it is not a hard rule, it is just that nobody reads poetry anymore. Good thing he was a bookworm. Recalling Nana's advice, he places his hand on the gate, ready to infuse it with his psychic energy. He channels his psychic energy directly into the gate, ready to claim his A-class prize. And 1 minute later, he is completely knocked out on the ground, so that went well. Our boy is totally drained, realizing he has used every last drop of his power for nothing. He admits that hanging around stronger psychics gave him a seriously inflated ego about his own abilities. His pathetic E-level reserves are not even enough to tickle this A-level artifact, leaving him defeated. Suddenly, we cut to a totally different kid in a pink hoodie, calling his pets over for some fun. This new guy immediately trips or gets hurt somehow, letting out a little ow from a cliff top. Meanwhile, hundreds of kilometers away, alarms are blaring at a secret military base. Inside, scientists are panicking as they detect a massive energy surge coming from Module 7. A red-haired woman floats inside a containment unit, absolutely crackling with raw power. An old man, Grandpa Mew, watches through the glass, feeling a strange connection to the event. Her eyes snap open, glowing with an intense pink light. She is officially awake. Grandpa Mew is ecstatic, calling out to Shuenger that she is finally conscious. Shuenger is completely disoriented, asking her grandpa what is happening and where they are. A stern-looking guy steps in, informing them they are currently guests of the military camp. With a jolt of recognition, she realizes she knows this guy from somewhere before. He introduces himself as Yang Hu, a demon hunter, striking a pose like he is God's gift to women. But she is having none of it, immediately demanding he pay for the car his demon-chasing antics destroyed. Yang Hu is just stunned into silence, his cool guy act completely falling apart. As she demands to be let out, he tells her to look down, hinting there's a very good reason she is in quarantine. Shuenger wakes up in her containment cell, already looking like she is ready for a fight. This floor beneath her is completely shattered into a web of ice, much to her confusion. Yang Hu explains she's got a new ice ability from an energy crystal, but she is not stable yet. She immediately connects the dots to the stone he chucked at her earlier, so that is what it was. Looking around at the icy chaos, she finally realizes this is all her doing. He tells her to just chill out, pun intended, and that they will explain everything later. And with a click, the door to her little icebox is sealed shut for her own good. Outside, Yang Hu immediately gets on the phone to report that she is awake and get a power reading. This preliminary analysis pegs her as in a rank, and now they have to hide her from the god believers. He solemnly promises to do whatever it takes to keep her safe from those lunatics. This next day rolls around, bringing more snow with it. Shuenger is absolutely ecstatic, having leveled up to an A+ ability user just by taking a nap. Now that she has got powers, her first thought is protecting someone named 17. Grandpa Mew is just as worried, telling her to focus on recovering before they go looking for him. Suddenly, their conversation is interrupted by the sound of someone approaching. It is Yang Hu striding in with a very questionable fashion choice, asking how she is feeling. She tells him she is ready to go find her little brother, already having her new powers under control. But his expression turns grim as he says there is something important she needs to know. Naturally, she asks him what is up, completely unaware of what is coming. Instead of answering, he puts her grandpa on blast, asking why he has not told her the big secret yet. Grandpa Mew looks on grimly as Yang Hu prepares to drop some seriously bad news. He explains they have tracked the 17th believer, so for her own safety, she is being moved to Main City 7. But Shuenger is not going anywhere, demanding to know why they are not looking for her missing brother, 17. Yang Hu gets real serious, saying her cooperation is mandatory because she is a major threat if she gets loose. She is completely baffled by this, asking him what in the world he means by that. Instead of answering, he just throws a punch right at her. Guess that is one way to make a point. Her powers flare up instinctively, a wave of icy energy erupting from her hands to defend herself. This blast of ice easily blocks his fist, showing just how out of control her new abilities are. His arm gets frozen solid, but he looks grimly satisfied, like this was the whole point of the test. Xiuenger is just stunned, staring at her hands and wondering what she just did. He lectures her that while she seems to have control, her A power is unstable and could go wild. She is left speechless, finally starting to understand the danger she represents. Then he pulls the ultimate guilt trip, saying this is for her brother's safety too, holding up a photo of Ishiki. Both she and her grandpa are shocked, demanding to know where 17 is right now. Yang Hu reveals his last known location was outside Restricted Area 77, and now he has vanished. This news completely floors her. Her brother was actually outside the restricted zone. He confirms it is strange and hands over the kid's official registration files to prove it. A flashback hits her as she realizes 17 can actually leave the restricted area, which changes everything. He tries to reassure them, saying the search is still ongoing even though they have not found him yet. Finally giving in, she agrees to go to the city, but only if he agrees to 2 conditions. Xiuenger lays down her first condition. If she gets her powers under control, she is becoming a demon hunter. As for her second, much more important demand, her expression turns deadly serious. She orders them to throw every available resource into finding her brother, 17, and ensuring his safety. And we jump back 18 hours to see Ishiki in that pink hoodie, stumbling upon a massive glowing gate. Our boy and his pets eye the swirling portal, with him wisely noting it looks a little dangerous. He does a quick safety check by peeking around the back, confirming it is just a floating door. With his curiosity piqued, he activates his special insight to figure out what this thing actually is. His power reveals the artifact's rules. It is a gate of space, a personal teleporter bound to his soul. Deciding the rules sound safe enough, he figures why not, and reaches out to touch it, a classic bad idea. But then he pauses, realizing he should probably pick a destination before activating the soul-bound teleporter. Too late, the gate starts sucking the energy right out of his hand without his permission. His arm gets completely yanked into the portal, which was apparently just hungry for a snack. And just like that, the gate slams shut, trapping his power inside of it. This whole thing vanishes, leaving just a tiny wisp of energy and 2 very confused pets. This little energy ball then zips off into the distance over a vast, snowy landscape, dragging Ishiki along for the ride at a speed that is absolutely shredding his clothes. It seems to be homing in on a specific target, pulling him straight towards a building, and it slams directly into himself, waking him up from a dead sleep with a painful crash. Now seemingly merged into one, he clutches his shoulder, more upset about his ruined shirt than anything else. Sitting up in a totally unfamiliar bedroom, our boy has only one question: where the hell is he? Ishiki tries to piece it together, remembering the place he was thinking of before teleporting. Suddenly, a purple-haired woman in a robe cracks open the door, wondering who is making all the noise. His eyes go wide with dawning horror as he realizes he is in Hong Lang Man. And the woman is just as shocked, calling him 17 and welcoming her little brother home. Our boy is absolutely losing his mind. He was thinking of the place, not his sister Duo's actual bed. She, on the other hand, is completely overjoyed, lunging at him for a hug like he is a miracle. He tries desperately to explain the situation while she is smothering him with affection. But she just waves it off, saying this is his home and he can come and go as he pleases, which is not helping. In a last-ditch effort, he tells her she is clearly drunk and just hallucinating his return. Her sly little smile suggests she is not buying that excuse for a single second. Then she pulls out a pair of handcuffs, asking 0 follow-up questions about this new development. While trying to cuff him, she argues that he is the one who looks like a disheveled mess. Her master plan is to chain him to the bed to see if he is still there in the morning. Flawless logic. Ishiki is now cuffed and staring into the abyss of his own terrible life choices. With no other options, he screams for his teleportation door to open, praying it actually works. A massive pink portal immediately erupts right out of the cuffs, answering his desperate plea. This whole room is lit up by his emergency exit, much to his sister's complete bewilderment. And just like that, he is gone, leaving her holding a single, empty handcuff with a confused hiccup. She just scratches her head, deciding it must have been a drunken hallucination from missing him so much. Meanwhile, his portal slams shut somewhere else, leaving behind a mysterious glowing pink box. Ishiki lands in a heap, complaining that his new teleportation power is absolutely hell on his wardrobe. Standing half-naked in a snowy alley, he decides he needs to invest in some teleport-proof clothing. This camera pulls way back, showing just how alone and underdressed he is in this city. And we cut to a military helicopter slicing through the blizzard over Main City 7. Inside, Xiuenger is getting her first-ever aerial tour, looking a little overwhelmed by it all. She admits this is her first time flying, having only seen a helicopter once during an escape 7 years ago. Yang Hu explains they have to fly because the city's locked down at night when monsters get more active. Looking down, she sees the massive walls protecting the city, all thanks to an organization called the Night Watch. He then starts breaking down the different jobs within the Night Watch, like the guardians who patrol the walls. Then there are the demon hunters, his team, who go into restricted zones to proactively hunt monsters. Their whole mission is basically monster population control, thinning the herd before they can cause trouble. You have also got road protectors, who guard the ground transport and supply lines between urban areas. And finally, the knowledge seekers, a bunch of lab coats who study dangerous, forbidden artifacts. This research is apparently as dangerous as defusing a bomb, and they also teach at the Ability Academy. Shuinger is all fired up, deciding that being a frontline fighter like Yang Hu is obviously the coolest job. He immediately puffs up his chest, telling her to drop the formalities and just call him Brother Hu so smooth. Playing right into his ego, she asked Brother Hu to tell her all about his amazing demon hunter team. But his smile completely vanishes as he admits he is actually the rookie of the group, the least experienced one there. Because his team is made up of a blindfolded dude, a girl in a frilly dress, and another guy with face tattoos.